Okay, let's go look for Jingyun. Okay. We have invited the Jingyun. We'll wait.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? I can hear you fine.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Hi.
Hello. Okay, can you try, or we can
Good
wave at
question.
people.
How do you wave at?
Okay,
Oh, you can wave at people. I can't do
yeah.
that here.
Can you see if you can bring the questions in?
I can't. But I
Okay.
think I can copy the question. Oh, I can't copy the questions either. Oh well. I
Mm,
guess we'll just read out the questions.
okay. All right, everybody, welcome to our third IG Live Q&A. So we had some questions come in. I don't think we need to introduce ourselves again. It's like,
No.
Cass and Jingyun. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna go with the first question.
Mhm.
First question is about the about 10 sternocleidomastoid muscles, and how to release to reduce chin thrust and hip tilt. So the sternocleidomastoid is a muscle in the neck. Sterno means so usually for anatomy when you see the word, it kind of tells you what the muscle does. So sterno means like sternum. Cleido means the shape of the muscle, and then also mastoid means like where else it's attached to. So it's attached from the mastoid process that's over here down to the sternum area, sternum clavicular area, meaning clavicular meaning like the collarbone area.
Mm.
Okay, so yes, that's why sternocleidomastoid. Anyway, so what this muscle does is the muscles in the neck tend to do a lot of things at once, but the main thing that it does is help with rotation of the head and stabilize like the front of the neck. So I'm not understanding what chin thrust is. Like I don't like we'd use a lot of muscles to do this. If there is this, if you mean chin thrust as in like this kind of motion, and you feel like there's tension from doing that, I would suggest releasing or just working on muscles other than just the
Mm.
sternocleidomastoid. Like probably other muscles in the anterior portion of the neck and even high up here, like the muscles on the top of the neck near the occiput there.
Mm.
Yeah, so anyway, first we need to talk about tense muscles and releasing tense muscles. So in general, I tend not to use the word release muscles because when we think of releasing muscles or working on muscles in that way, we tend to think we need to like pulverize the muscles with pressure. So people
Mm.
will think like, oh, release tools or like grabbing the sternocleidomastoid and like pulling on it, or
Mhm.
working it really hard in order to release it. Because people think from a more structural point of view, where it's like, oh, this muscle, it's tight. In order to make it flat or like less tight or long, you kind of need to knead it out. But if you think about it, like our body doesn't work like Play-Doh or dough, where you just roll it out and then it becomes like flat forever. I'm sure people have experienced releasing muscles and then feeling like the muscles get tense again. Anyway, so
Mm.
clearly it's not releasing or rolling out or poking it doesn't permanently cause the muscles to become longer or flatter. And if you've done it over a period of time, you realize that even if you do it consistently, the muscles become tense again. So why is that? So thinking about releasing as more of just like helping the muscle find a more easeful state might be a better way to think about it. So you want to try and help your tense muscles not be so tense. We need to ask, okay, why are they tense in the first place? Okay, is it, sometimes it could be because you tend to use your neck a certain way, and it tends to become tense. Like, let's say I keep having to hold something in my arm, and I keep using my bicep muscle, okay? And it learns to be very tense and tight because I need it to do that every day. Every day I'm like holding a cup in my hand in the same position. The bicep muscle learns to be very tight and tense in order to achieve that action or task as effectively and efficiently as possible. So your muscles may be tense because you require them to do a task that requires them to be tense very frequently in your life and for very long periods of time. Another thing could be that maybe you just don't move your neck as much, or find other ways your neck might be able to move, so then the neck is tense. Other things could be like your neck is not as strong as it could be, and you may be doing things that require a little bit more neck strength, and the muscles feel like they need to tense up in order to protect your neck. Yeah. So it depends on why your neck is tense. And okay, but that's for like more long term, like, okay, if you want to help your neck feel less tense, what can you do? So in the moment now, my neck is tense. How can I help it feel less tense or more easeful? You want to try and not make the muscle feel less threatened by the possibility of danger. What that means is preferably your neck is not being in a protective state, which will cause more tension. You want to try and tell your not just your neck, but like when I say the body, I mean like everything that has to do with you. So it can be your brain, your experiences, your nervous system, your digestive system, whatever it is. So when I refer to the body, that's what I mean, not just actual like the physical tissues. When I'm referring to physical tissues, I'll say physical tissues. Anyway, so when you try and ease muscles, you actually want the nervous system to register that it's not in danger. And one of the ways to do that is through pressure. So this is why release techniques work. So not just pressure, it can also be stretch, it can be vector stretching, like how you would get a massage, and then they pull on your skin or on your muscles, or they put pressure and then they move in a vector. Other times can be even just touching the muscle and like mapping it out. So like some places would tell you to grab your sternocleidomastoid, but you can just this is called like palpating. So what you can do is just find, okay, where's the beginning of the muscle, and then slowly, very gently palpate it down to the attachment point at the bottom. And sometimes even that just brings ease already if you do it very gently, because what this does is it just teaches your body where the sternocleidomastoid is, how it helps your body and your brain understand, oh, okay, this is really tense right here. Can it be less tense? And then it starts to work itself out, like, okay, that's like really tense and uncomfortable. Can I make it more comfortable? So you can just continue doing that until the muscle feels more comfortable. Other ways are like what that also does is it helps your body understand the relationship between this muscle and everything around it. So like the relationship between this muscle and like your neck, or this muscle and the other side of your neck, this muscle and your jaw, this muscle and your collarbone, and everything it attaches to. So that will help that area feel more relaxed, because it just knows. Like, imagine you're on Google Maps, okay, and it's like you try and navigate with just like a very rough area of the map. You're like, okay, I want to go to block 163 in Toa Payoh. I don't even know if that exists. Okay, but you don't know where 163 is. You don't know where Lorong 5 is. You don't know, whether block 163 is next to block 164 or not. And you're like, okay, I have a general map of like Bishan and Toa Payoh. And then you feel really lost and confused trying to navigate where to find block 163. But if you have a clearer map, which is what this does, you build a clearer body map, palpating, telling your body where different parts of your body are, you're building a map of knowing where things are. When you have a clearer map, you're able to find your way with much more confidence. And that's what brings the ease and comfort and more relaxation in the muscles as well. Yeah. But yeah, tense muscles in general, like the long-term solution other than calming things down, which is what this is also to get them to be stronger. So you might need to look into neck training, like, or you can even start small, like just going like this, forward, back, every day just doing, okay, I'll do like 10 repetitions of this. This can be front, like that. It can be turn your head and go like this. So left, turn your head to the right, go like this. And then it can just be something simple as like, okay, I'm just going to do side bends of the neck 10 times one side, 10 times the other side, or even like neck rotation, like turning left and right, or actual neck rotations, because your head weighs a certain amount of weight. So that alone can sometimes be enough weight for you to train your neck with. Yeah, and then there are other like more stabilization type things. Some people start by just pushing their forehead into their hand. So you can see my front neck muscles working here. And sometimes even this, like just activating the muscles in the front, give it a chance to reassess whether it's working too hard or not working enough. Or most of the time it's working too hard. Like most of the time when muscles are tense, they are hypertonic, meaning they're very, very active. So then it's very hard to get more, I guess, work out of them or more activity from them because there's already so much activity in the muscles. Yeah, and then you can also do this on the side of the head and this side as well. And you can do all of this with a band. So you can tie a band onto a pole and put the band around your head and then just try and push into the band. Behind your head, try and push into the band. Side as well, push into the band. Or with a towel, you can also just like push into the towel on the wall. Put it on your forehead on the wall and push in. Yeah, very simple things like that. But I would suggest just in the beginning, because I think most people don't do very specific neck training. You can just do 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and left and right, and then circles. Yeah, for now. And then I would suggest starting very small first, so maybe like 5 to 8 reps each side first, then can do them every day, and then so on and so forth, and then increase the repetitions as you go along slowly. Yeah. So yeah, that is my answer to tense sternocleidomastoid, how to release and reduce chin thrust and hip tilt. So relax the muscles around first, palpating or very gentle soft tissue work around the neck, palpating the muscle, to gently palpating, telling your body where that muscle begins and where it ends, and the boundaries of the muscle, like, oh, this is the edge here, this is the edge. How does that feel like? Very gently move it, don't pull it. Yeah. You can do that for all sorts of structures as well, like even like here, your jaw, the muscles on the inside of the jaw, you can do that. The muscles like the masseter around here, you can do that as well. Yeah. So, and then after that, do the strength exercises. So that's all the movements that we talked about just now. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, be gentle, because you don't want to, you don't want to cause more tension and protection. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So next question is discuss certain postures. For example, supine spinal twist in yoga, in general, awareness of the lower back. Okay, so supine spinal twist, what that means is, supine means you're lying on your back. Spinal means spine. Twist means there's a rotation in the spine. So usually that's lying. You can usually I think in yoga, when people do this, they bring, I think, like one leg across. So you're lying down on your back, and then you bring maybe one leg across your body, and yeah, there's a rotation in your spine because of this. So your chest is facing the ceiling, and then you bring one leg across. Or you can have both legs bent, and then you bring both legs across, and you twist from the bottom. Yeah, so that's another way you might be able to do it. When you hold a position like that, I find sometimes the stretch sensation can allow you to create a better understanding of your spine. If you feel a stretch somewhere, you're like, oh, I never felt that part of my body before, because you feel a stretch there. But when it comes to like understanding parts of your body in relation to each other, movement tends to be better, because you have to, okay, so like your ligaments and your muscles your ligaments will try and figure out where you are in space. You sense where you are in space, and when you're moving, there is more of a trying to figure out, like, okay, I went this way too far, or where, for example, if I want to place my arm, okay, so my arms are like this, and I want to be able to sense where they are in space. If I move them, I understand where they are in relationship to each other. So even if I can't see them, if I want to do this, and I do it slowly, I start to understand the relationship between my shoulder, my elbow, and my wrist and my hand, and the relationship between both my arms and my spine and my upper back and my neck, and so on and so forth. Because my ligaments are constantly sensing where they are in space in relation to the joints, as the joints move. So I might also be able to do this. I lock the elbows, I move the arms, and I understand where the arms are in space, and so on. Movement tends to be a better way of collecting that information as opposed to postures, but staying in a position could help as well, like if you want to purposefully explore a very specific position. So for example, in the supine spinal twist, you have the floor against your back. So that could be very useful, like feeling the pressure from the floor against your shoulders, feeling the pressure of the floor against your back, which parts of your back the floor is touching, and which parts of your back the floor isn't touching. You might do the left side first, and then if you take into consideration where the floor touches on that side, then you do the right side, and then you're like, oh, it feels different. Let me check which parts of my back the floor is touching now compared to the left side, right side. Just as a way to observe and get some kind of external feedback, which could help with mapping your body. Other ways is, the stretch, understanding like, oh, I feel a stretch in my side. Okay, let's say you twist to one side, you might feel a stretch in your right side. You might feel it go across the end of your rib cage and the beginning of your pelvis, and you go like, oh, I can really feel the connection between my pelvis and my ribs, because I feel like a tightness or stretch there. That could also increase your awareness. Because you're talking about posture, so I'm guessing like you're holding the postures, but you can also do this spinal twist by moving the legs side to side. Okay, but we can kind of continue just talking about postures. Anyway, so it can also be after you've done the posture, as you lie there for longer, you may be able to sense things more and more. You might be able to think, okay, let me think of where my feet are. Let me think of where my knees are. Let me think of where my pelvis is, and how much it's rotated. And then you just move up your body in a body scan. Or you can move down if you want, if that's better for you. Like, how is my head? If you feel like you can sense this part of your body better than the lower part of your body, you can start from the head. Like, okay, let's see where the head is, where it's touching the floor. Then your neck, how does your neck feel? Is it tense? Is it relaxed? And then the shoulders, and so on and so forth, all the way down. Yeah, so you can stay in one posture, or you can move. But in general, when you want to gain awareness, I find that movement, because of the added need of collecting how your body is relating to the space and also to itself, there's a lot more information that you can take in. But sometimes you may want to have a very drawn out awareness of a specific position, and maybe postures or staying in one position. That's just staying in one position could be very useful. It could even be in the middle of the movement. As I'm maybe moving my arms like that, I want to stop. And I try and understand like how comfortable or uncomfortable my arms are here. Like, can I do something with my shoulder here to try and make it more relaxed? The shoulder as well. The right side of my neck feels a bit uncomfortable. What can I do in order to make it more comfortable? Or help it feel more comfortable, not make it more comfortable. You better feel freaking comfortable. That is not a good way to help your body feel more comfortable. So that's, you can use both. I hope I answered your question. I would think like you don't. It doesn't matter the modality. Like it's just movement or holding positions. That's it. Like you can use any modality for this. You can be dancing. You can be doing like choreography, and then you want to pause in a position and then just take in information in the position. You can even like vocalize in all these positions also. You're like moving and trying to vocalize while moving, or you like move and then you just pause. And then you try and vocalize in that position and see how that feels, and then try and shift the position so you feel more easeful, and then try and vocalize again. These are things that you can do. And then, the question did say awareness of lower back. If you want awareness of the lower back, I think there are better things to do than this. Lying on the floor can be useful. You can use the wall as well for feedback for the lower back. But I would say spinal waves are a good one. There are various ways you can do spinal waves. You can be standing, like just, and then just focusing mainly on the lower back. Or you can do spinal waves on all fours, like on your knees and hands. You can do spinal waves from the wall. So like touch your head against the wall, then the upper back, and then every time you try and push yourself against the wall, the previous part of your body moves away from the wall. So you can be using the wall as like feedback for spinal waves. Jefferson curls with weight could be a good one. You can search that up like on YouTube or something, Jefferson curls. I think those will be better for awareness of your lower back than this supine spinal twist, because this is very general to the whole spine. If you want to know more about your lower back, you might want to do very specific movements that have to do with isolating the lower back, maybe, or even isolating the lower back from the pelvis or something like that. Okay.
Awesome.
Then
the third question.
Okay, how do you overcome being too stuck in the head in your practice? Okay, we are gonna take this as like psychologically being stuck in the head, not like your head is stuck. Okay?
Where would it be stuck?
If your head is stuck, I would call an ambulance or maybe the fire department for you.
Okay, so because I'm not sure what this person was asking specifically, like where their head is, where is their mind space focused on, I will talk about it more generally and based on what I've observed people getting stuck on. In general, a lot of people tend to be stuck when they're trying to push the boundaries of their pitch range, or push the boundaries of the vocal colors that they have access to, or push the boundaries of the loudness that they have access to. And also when they're approaching something that's more unfamiliar to them in voice work, then they might be really, really focused on trying to get it right the very first time they try it, and then they might get stuck in trying to get it right, and then they get stuck in their head as a result of trying to get it right. So the question being, how do you overcome being too stuck in your head? I think first we need to understand what you're being stuck on, and then see whether or not you can make that task a little bit simpler for yourself so that you don't try to overextend yourself when you try this new task that you're trying to do. And also what you can do is to probably take a break from what you're doing. If you feel like you have been like trying the same phrase for 10 minutes and it's not changing and you're getting really frustrated, take some time away, and then after that come back from your break and then see if you can approach it in a new way. Chances are, if you have been approaching it the same way and it's not working, you probably need to change the approach in which you're doing it. So again, because I'm not sure what this person is specifically asking about, so I can't address it directly. If you're here in our IG live, please feel free to pop us a message, I think down here, to explain more if you'd like. And what else can I talk about? How do you overcome being too stuck? Yeah, simplifying the task. So let's say if currently in the chorus of a song, you are getting very stuck at the second phrase because there's this part where you need to jump across your vocal range, for example, then maybe you want to isolate that jump that you are struggling with instead of tackling the entire chorus as a whole. So break it down to a smaller part so that it becomes more manageable for you first before putting it back in context. See whether or not that works. I find it very difficult to answer this without knowing the context. What do you think, Kat?
Being too in your practice, it really depends on what you're too stuck in the head, like what you're being bothered by, what you're worried about. Like, are you worried about something? Is it because you feel like you're unable to do something, or is it like something you keep trying to do and you can't get it? So sometimes it might not be necessarily psychological. You may need like actual physical help with the task, and that would help you be not too stuck in your head or worry about it as much, or feel more confident. That's advertising like what our workshop can help with.
Yes.
So in our workshop is trying to help you find ways to increase your capacity for voice and in your body, so that when you practice and when you perform, you don't have to worry too much about your physical capacity. And when you have greater physical capacity, you just feel more confident in being able to do things. You have fewer chances of second guessing yourself, and once you have a way of understanding how to structure your practice, also you know, like, okay, I might be having a problem here. It will help you have a way to diagnose what the problem is, and then where to start from all over again. Not all over again, just to find the most meaningful way of approaching your practice, so that you don't feel like, should I be doing this or that or this or that, and then you keep changing things and you never really are able to move forward. And that was why we wanted to create this workshop in the first place. Yeah. So yeah, how to overcome being too stuck in the head. Yeah, so sometimes just growing your capacity can really help you get out of your head and more in your body and more in the piece that you're trying to do.
Oh,
yeah.
A person messaged me. Hold on, let me open it. They said, probably what I mean is being too tunnel vision. Bit on technique. Vision bit on tech. I don't understand. Being too tunnel vision bet on technique that gets in the way of phrasing or expression. Okay, so I guess when we are trying to achieve a certain vocal technique, we might be thinking of the vocal coordination we need to get there, and then sometimes you think of too many things at once, and then that overwhelms your mind, and your body just cannot connect so many instructions. Like, for example, a lot of people, they're like, oh, raise the soft palate, but you need to relax your tongue, but you need to open your jaw, and then you need to keep your neck free. That's 4 instructions for your body to coordinate as one thing to do. That is enough to go like, whoa, that's a lot. This person
imagine someone telling you to do like multiplication and then juggle at the same time and stand on one leg, and also like recite Confucius chapter 7 from your memory. It's just like, what the half? Like, how am I supposed to do that while looking happy only on one side of your face? It's like, No, you won't be able to do that. So yes, like there is a limit to how many things our body can absorb at once and then execute at once as well. So that's why external cues can be very useful. You're like,
Mm,
oh, I need to do all of those. If you can make 3 of those an external cue, like, okay, I need to feel like you put your hand in the back of your head and you lightly push into it to try and create some kind of feedback that might solve some problems, and at least you get 3 of those things done, and then you get to just focus on the one thing that you're struggling
yeah,
with. Yeah,
exactly. And this
yeah,
person who asked the question said it's actually being too tunnel visioned, not tunnel visioned it, and how sometimes technical focus might actually bring you away from your intended speaking expression. So there's 2 parts to this. First is, can you even physically do this vocal sound that you want to achieve the expression you want? So if the answer is no, then you probably have to work on getting the physical vocal coordination first before you approach the more expressive side. Bearing in mind that the color and the vocal coordination you want is based on your interpretation. After that, then you can do more fancy things like maybe changing the loudness, maybe going a little bit brighter or darker in terms of the color. And then you can also include facial expression and physical gestures that may change the way that you would phrase your sound after you have already learned how to do the vocal coordination. As Kes mentioned earlier, it is so that this vocal sound we're trying to do becomes at the back of your mind, so you can focus on your expression and connecting with the audience, connecting with the characters on stage when you want to execute it. So going back to the original question, which is how do you get out of your head during practice? Again, breaking it down to smaller steps. This time, not in terms of the music or the script that you're working on, but in terms of the skills you're trying to acquire in order to get the envisioned expressive goal that you have in mind. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, in our workshop, we talk about stages of competence. So down here, it sounds like the technique that you're trying to go for or that you're trying to use, you're still at that conscious incompetent level, which means that you're aware that you're bad at it. And you have to use a lot of effort to try and be good at it. And that's too much resources being put into trying to be good at it, such that you can't use those resources to do the other things that you want to do with the music or the piece that you're trying to perform. Which means that you need to take this conscious incompetent part to the next level, which is more like conscious competence. So then you might be aware that you're good at it. And then the best would be to be able to do it unconsciously. Like you can just do the technique without having to think too much about it or at all. Like it's just, I'm sure you've in life, like for example, me talking right now, when I was a baby, I was like, goo goo gaga, I can't speak these words. Okay, but eventually at one point in time, as I talked more and learned to talk, I can now just speak without even thinking of like how to move my mouth, how to say the words, how to put one word after the other. I can now form sentences. So it takes time to get to that unconscious competent space, but yes, it would really help if you could do that with your technique and your capacity of using your voice, so that is out of the way. You don't even need to think about it. Then you can focus all of your thinking resources, your feeling resources, whatever it is, on expression. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all we have for today.
Yeah. I mean, there are other ways, there are other reasons why people are tunnel vision, but yeah. I feel like that requires more understanding of him as a person, or her or they as a person, and why or their personality, and if they tend towards tunnel vision thinking on other things as well. Yeah. So yeah. Anything else?
No,
Okay.
I can't. I don't see any other extra questions. Did anyone write anything? Let me quickly scroll. Did anyone pop anything in the?
I don't. No.
Nope. Okay.
No.
Then that's all for
Okay.
our
Wow, so many
today.
people joined today. Thank you so much, to people who attended. We'll be doing one more of these, this, and we'll also be making posts out of questions that
Today's.
have not just today's, but maybe like even the previous one, like more longer posts about questions we got from the Q&A. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for coming, everybody. Hopefully
just
we
to
answered your questions well. Yeah.
Plug our workshop before we end.
Yeah.
Which is, we have our second Move Your Voice workshop on the same topic of a systematic guide to voice practice happening on Sunday, 3rd of April, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. It's going to be at Aliwal Art Center, Chowk Productions. So if you're interested to find out more about what we have talked about today, about body mapping, about growing your capacity, how to practice, you might want to check out our workshop. The link is in our bio. No, upstairs. Yes, to see you there.
Yeah, we have it's like a second edition because we ran the first one and we're like, this could be better. So it's gonna be a lot more practical than the first one, and a lot more specific, I would say. Yeah. So a lot more vocalization and doing things on the participants' part. Yeah, so we hope you will come if you see it as something that would help you. Yeah. Okay. So you can. Yeah. The link is in our bio. All of the bios of all of the Instagrams involved. The Move Your Voice one, Jingyun's, my account, and if otherwise, you can look for it on Eventbrite, a systematic guide to voice practice. Okay. I think that ends everything. Okay. Thank you so much for coming. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.